And welcome back to Trekyards Mission Briefing, guys, your Wednesday dose of just a free flow review discussion, and a little review, to be honest, of any ship or station or thing from the Star Trek universe, from canon, non-canon, side canon, and just kind of, ooh, let's look at that. So today, what are we looking at, Stuart?
A ship.
Well,
From Star Trek. What else would we look at on mission briefings for Trekyards? It's just a dumb question, Samuel.
I meant specifically for today.
Oh, specifically. We're going to be looking at the Firestorm class. This is a very cool design. My first time seeing it, and I really love it. And it's from Demon Renegade Studios, who seem to do some pretty fantastic work. So
yeah, these are all
thank you.
Bridge Commander models, I believe, from years ago, and I sort of stumbled upon his website a while ago. We've done a couple of them now because they're actually pretty interesting, and all a very distinct, unique style. So yeah, give me your first impressions, because it's TOS. We're back to TOS, Stuart. Your secret, not secret love. So what do you think?
It's a fantastic design, as I said. This thing really fits into the world of TOS. I see a lot of different design elements that really kind of link it back to, the NX era and, future Miranda style kind of designs. So I think it's a fantastic in-between step. And again, whoever did this just did a fantastic job. So I give them credit for sure.
It's a ship that, while looks a bit higgledy-piggledy, like just because, just a little bit, it's like, well, yeah, everything we see makes sense. You know what I mean? It's one that is not one we've seen and might have been really annoying for them to build in the 60s. But it's like, yeah, every piece here fits in, and come on, you've got to give absolute credit for the deflector dish in the roll bar. I mean, it's very small, ridiculously small, to be honest, but it is a tremendously good place to put it. And I give them credit for that.
At least it's there. Yeah, at least it's there, because a lot of people say, "Where's the deflector dish on the Miranda?" There is one, but
of course there's one.
Anyway,
how else would it fly? Yeah, that needs to be like 30-40% bigger though. But I appreciate it's NXC and XO2 style, which implies this is an older ship.
I would say no.
Okay.
No. Just because you're just going on the shape of the deflector.
Well, and the fact that it's got pontoons. These are things that are slightly older. I'm like, if I was to bet, and also on how big, bold shapes the bridge dome are. They aren't nice curved ones. And that's just limitation in modelling. But my guess would be this is an older ship that they refitted with newer nacelles, but it's actually like one of the earliest TOS styles with refit nacelles, and then they added the phaseable turrets as an upgrade, which would account for the older feel, the older style, and the different dish, I suppose, maybe?
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, I could see this being an older ship that was just upgraded and retrofitted, for sure. Yeah. And I just noticed something. That, module behind the bridge, I assume it's the shuttle bay. I haven't seen any other views of this ship yet, guys, so... but from this angle, it looks like they took the motion picture long-range shuttle, took the sled off of it and just backed it into the saucer there. It's the same shape almost.
Actually, yeah. No, now I'm mentioning that, there is actually a cutout. The darker grey around the saucer is a cutout. Now that's, what if then, we don't know yet, we haven't seen, what if that's actually then a shuttle element designed like almost a captain's yacht style thing, a fully self-contained secondary shuttle unit that slides right in and gives it something else.
It would be huge. It's like a detachable shuttle bay.
Well,
imagine if the shuttle bay attached and you could land it on the planet and take cargo and everything down.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually on board with that. Actually, I think that would be really interesting.
Well, let's see if we can get another look at it. Let's go to the next picture. Wow, this is interesting. Again, there's new design elements here.
Okay. Wow, that changes it actually a lot. A lot more flat shapes in this view.
Yeah. And it looks almost like it's got a more modern deflector on the front of the saucer. Some kind of interesting deflector array grid or something.
Well,
I like this ship.
yeah, good. Well, it's interesting. For Eagle Moss, they had to make the sort of definitive, quote unquote, Daedalus design. And obviously, the question is, how do you make that work properly? They had to get CBS, approved, because it had to be the one that was printed and such. And Fabio, who worked with John Vassitis and Ben to do, put the deflector inside of grilling, which means it's hidden, but also sort of there. So this could be similar tactic, which would also imply older as well, but newer than NX. But they kept the primary deflector as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool aspects to this bottom view. The struts coming out of the pontoons, though, I didn't expect to be straight. From the other view, they looked almost angled up. I mean, they are a little angled up, I guess, but I would have changed that probably a little bit if I was doing it myself.
Yeah, the bottom.
Again,
sorry.
I was going to say again, those pontoons almost have a Excelsior type of vibe to them, like a TOS Excelsior version. Just slimmed down quite a bit.
It's a strange mix of shapes, actually. The top view is very integrated. We'll go back to the top view. Everything is classical shapes and styles. Bottom view, no, everything is very flat and very blocky. Now, yes, the NX-01, actually the bottom of the pontoons are surprisingly, flattened, but they have those curves. It works. Again, maybe we're out of time or something, but hard lines, hard right edges are only really ever seen on the pylons, and they're not even, as in for a normal Connie, and they're still, at this shape. But I'm intrigued as to why, because you can see that it's got the same secondary hull markings as the TOS Connie has, although obviously much, much smaller here. And it's got some sort of cutout, I guess, like a torpedo launcher, but that would work for the NX style, to be fair. They just had slits, so I guess they could be the dedicated torpedo launchers.
That would be the perfect place to put them. I was just going to say that before you did. It'd be good to have a pontoon or a torpedo launcher on the front of each of those pontoons. It's a perfect place for them. Yeah. And I don't know if I'd have them looking like that, though. I would hollow those out and have a red glow in there.
But they didn't for TOS or NX, so I guess they're going back to the old school.
True enough.
And then you can have phasable turrets, obviously. Well, they do have them. Yeah, okay. No, I'm more sold on that now. And then, to be fair, with the way those pontoons are designed, chuck in aft launchers in either of the two, the curved bit or the more blocky bit. I know TOS doesn't necessarily do aft torpedoes until Defiant, but even the NX had them somehow for that one shot ever. It's grown on me. You've convinced me more. It's grown on me more. Let's go to the next picture. And let's see if it answers anything.
It does. The rear of the pontoons, I think, are the impulse engines.
I think so. Which is NX. They're interesting.
And is it just me, or are you getting an Akira vibe from that sensor, that pod thing?
Oh, with the rotary torpedo launcher. Which isn't really a rotary torpedo launcher. That was just
I wouldn't have... Yeah, but those could each be torpedo doors. This is a ship for running away.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, or probes. That would make even more sense, because you wouldn't need, you wouldn't be so worried about having probes next to a deflector dish as you would be for torpedoes next to a deflector dish, because if your deflector dish goes down, your warp's a little bit screwy. Now, is there a better view of the shuttle bay? There is not. So let's talk about that now then. So, it is a shuttle bay?
Yeah, I would say so. If you go to I don't want to go to the next picture quite yet, but if you just take a glance at it,
sure.
You can see that there's kind of like a cutout there, and some lights above it, so it could easily be a shuttle bay. And it's integrated as well, not a separate piece. But sticking on picture 3, I still think that would have been an amazing secondary shuttle. So, an auxiliary ship of some kind would be very cool. Even if you double down on like a cargo plane, the aft bit you put type F shuttles in, like 2 or 3. And then the front you have the middle bit you have cargo, and then the front you have the cockpit, and suddenly it becomes like you can leave on a planet and do a mission, and it's a fully self-contained mission unit. You know what else would be cool is if that console did unplug, you could plug in a new one. It has like sticks out and comes down and has a secondary hull attached to it.
Oh,
And that would be
yes.
so beautiful.
Yeah, this would do well for having a NX refit treatment, I think. Just how the things curve and flow, that I think would actually add to it even more.
And not have it attached to the pontoons or anything, just plug into the back of the saucer there. That would look really slick. I think you could make that look so good.
Yeah, that would... It'd have to be smaller than... Yeah, that would be interesting, but it'd be something like like Miranda having the separate different units you can attach. You know, make Miranda, do you either have the Saratoga attachments or the Soyuz, or having a pod attach. Yeah, I see that well. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But that was our own invention there. But I wish that was a thing. I kind of want to invent a ship now as just like that chunk being the shuttle. I think it works so well.
The USS Plug and Play.
The next picture, which you alluded to, yeah, clearly a shuttle bay. It's got familiar markings and familiar lightings. This view is an NX. I mean, that bottom saucer feels like an NX to me. Just the angle of the bottom sensor dome is not a Connie. It's NX. You know.
And I get the distinct impression that there's two separate engineering rooms in this ship, one in each pontoon. Because otherwise, you can't really attach. You have one going out, feeding both nacelles. Because we know that in the NX, the engineering thing is right at the back where that shuttle bay is. In this one, then it feeds out into both. This one, I don't think that's the case.
That would be tricky.
Unless the engineering room is much further.
It's in the shuttle bay. They just say, right, mind the engine. No, park to the side. Park to the side.
Don't hit that feed. That's going to... Oh, damn it. Yeah.
6 weeks of repairs. God damn it, Jerry.
The engineering room could be further further into the saucer. So, but that just seems stupid. I would have two separate warp whatever they're called. I can't even think right now. Warp cores. One in each. One in each pontoon.
Just smaller cores. You know? Yeah, I'd buy that. And obviously you've got the we haven't mentioned it, but the integral lit works really well. Again, the deflector should be bigger, feels like from this view. But this view, the way that the blocky elements, the pontoons and the pylons does work better, but you did need to round them off a bit, I think. It's kind of begging for that to fit in even more. I mean, just in a similar way that the saucers slightly gently round and curves, that would be a very natural thing. It's a quite interesting integration and redesign of things.
Mm-hmm. And the next picture is a nice beauty shot of it with some kind of heavenly thing in the background. I don't know what that is, a nebula.
It's in-game is what it is.
A wormhole.
It
looks good.
Huh. Looks good. But look, the saucer has 2 decks.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
I
was going to say, it's very much the same as the Constitution class in that regard, the window placement and stuff. Although on this one, I am seeing what looks like torpedo launchers underneath the bridge, because they're red, and I don't think the red light is self-illuminating the registry.
That's interesting. Huh.
Oh, I don't like it. That's not a good place for them, I don't think. But I don't know if that's necessarily what they are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have them there, but if they are there, then okay. It might just be an accidental colour mistake. Yeah, I don't know. This view, it sort of shows the lack of geometry detail a little bit. Like the saucer looks a little bit, I don't know, something. And actually, I'm looking closely, but there is that darker rim, and boy, is it getting lost in space. Kind of weird choice to do that. Actually, same with the pontoons. It's the colouring kind of is a little bit confusing, but it works well. What do you think its function is then? Before we close out, given its more unique appearance, I suppose. or do you have a definitive thought on the age of the ship if you were to now put your money down on a bit?
I don't know, and no. This is just I can't see any specific mission purpose for this one. It does have a rather large shuttle bay, but in comparison to a Constitution class or something that might be flying alongside, how much bigger would it be? Not too much, I don't think. So,
yeah,
I have no idea.
My bet would be something that needs a more maneuverable ship. Bringing everything close together, lowering all the profiles, giving the engines more center of mass and such. This would have a much better maneuverability than the Enterprise, the classic style. And obviously cheaper to, material-wise to build. It's just a good, small, different purpose ship. Like I said, I really wish if that shuttle bay detaches and such, that would be such an... Then it's like a because we see all those cargo carrying ships in Trek, obviously Enterprise, the J class and the Y class. But if you want to, include a van, include as part of your big Ferrari, include like a little van attachment that lets you have like a dedicated cargo bit. Poorly said, but you know what I mean. It's like it's yes. Sure of one big container available.
And I think it should be said too that we don't see a lot of really unique and interesting TOS designs very often. Usually they're very kit-bashy or very clumsy. And this one I don't think falls into that. This one very much is integrated beautifully, works really well. We see a lot of like first contact kind of era ships that really come together nicely. We see a lot more of those, or TNG ships. But the TOS ones are usually kind of hit or miss. And this one's definitely a hit. This one, I got to give the guy kudos. He did a good job on designing it. Yeah,
there's only a few angles I'd change, like a few curves, and that was just, I think, quicker modeling time. But yeah, it's a study of how do you make a TOS NX hybrid, and yet not having the exact features of either. Which is, it worked really well, and like I say, not a full kit bash. But let's go to the first picture, last picture. It works really well. Although to be fair, I might say now there is a very similar ship like this in Star Trek Online, because they did some tremendous of their versions. Obviously the pontoon detail is very NX/Akira. I think unless you were to say give us more of an NX paint scheme or the in between, those shapes don't quite work with the TOS aesthetic because they're too smooth and elegant. I think if they were to broaden those out a little bit, make them a bit more bulky, that might, otherwise it really has a more Enterprise feel. But then I think the paint scheme needs to reflect that just a smidge, or even give it a cage. Although again, that limits you because you're losing the glowing facade and such. Give it that again. I think this is like 15 to 20 years before TOS is my vibe. With some slight upgrades.
So this we should see in Discovery is what you're saying. And on that note, guys, if you want to help support our show so we can look at more ships like this, you can head on over to Patreon, click the link in the description below, and help us out on a monthly basis. Or, by all means, head on over to Trekyards.com, check out all the goodies we have over there, and while you're there, click that donate button and say, thank you, guys. Here's $10, $15, whatever you want to throw our way. We'd really appreciate that.
Yes, and just support us by sharing the show, and we think fans would enjoy it, and just enjoy a good ship discussion about a cool ship. That's what we do here, and we do it on a every week, twice a week basis. So just share and tune in next time for another great Trekyards mission briefing and main Trekyards. Of course, so until then, I am Commander Cookins.
Yes, he is. Goodbye.
And you are?
I'm just here for the ride. I'm Captain Foley. See you guys later.